You're listening to the Survivor Sweat Podcast with Mike Buckmiller and Russell Rosenblum. If you're looking for strategy articles and just about everything Survivor, head to survivorsweat.com. Now, let's get to it.
All right, welcome back to the Survivor Sweat Pod, coming to you from the Simply Las Vegas studio. Who are we? I'm Mike Buckmiller. Alongside me, as always, my partner in sweat, Russell Rosenblum. We were the 2022 Circa Survivor champions under the Jet entry name, and happy to report, we weren't on the Packers.
We definitely were. By the way, 2022 starts to feel further and further away.
Oh, that's right.
It's like one day we're going to look up, it's going to feel like we're saying, we were the 1956 champions. There were 4 entries. And
I already feel
we
old.
split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm glad we were not on the Falcons, because at one point some of the data spit out Falcons, and you were like, please no, please no. And then the day before, the same data spit out no Falcons. You're like, thank God.
Yeah. And I actually said Packers. And you indirectly said Falcons because...
Oh, that's true. You're right. That's perfect, actually.
The both teams...
We were never taking the Packers, though.
Oh, we were
never... Like, that was never on the list.
Never taking the Packers. It was on my notes. There's just no chance. I just hated the analytics in that game. And sometimes things check out. So, yeah. Both teams. So, let's recap week 3 here. 3,154 hit the skids.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. 26.2% of the entire pool has been eliminated through week 3, including the 13 no picks.
They usually get eliminated.
Get a proxy. I saw somebody tweet out, well, you can't lose if you don't pick.
Right, that's one way to look at it.
And I also said, well, you also can't win.
You can't cry about the bad beat.
That's right. So we are sitting at 13,811 out of the original 18,000 and change. You know, the old tongue twister there.
What did we have last year for entries? Like 12,000 or something?
14,200.
So we are finally under last year's starting number.
That's right. So it's officially begun.
We're almost there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yes, this is a winner take all contest. 18 million in change, and of course that change is 718,000. So
it's not even $750,000.
I'd be okay with that.
It's all right.
Well, you're going to use it to tip, right, Russ?
Exactly. It's the tip money.
Yep. The tip money for sure.
After you give $20 to Benson, you got what left? 717,900.
So finally, we got a little bit of carnage here as the Packers and Falcons goes down, as we had discussed. So how about the endings of the Bucks and Eagles?
There were so many great endings.
Oh my gosh. That last 30 minutes, 30 minutes of the morning games was just absolute chaos.
Completely.
Unreal. And that's what keeps people coming back.
Totally does. You know,
it's not only for the individuals that are landed on them, that's their team, but the people that are anti-sweating them. Mm-hmm. Just an absolute turn of events.
And although you mentioned the Packers game, I mean, the end of it was still pretty good too, if you want to add an ending.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what happens when you let a team stick around for, 58 minutes.
Yeah, the Packers D is for real. But as it turns out, so is Cleveland's.
Correct. Their offense, maybe not so much, but they didn't really need it.
No, Joe Flacco. Little rough. Okay, so in Grandissimo, we also lose 10, similar to the main, and it was the same usual suspects. The Packers and Falcons also caused the damage in the 100K contest.
Almost lost the 49ers.
Almost lost. Ooh, the enemy. The enemy gets by.
Yeah.
Man. What a finish to that ball game.
One of the guys we made it to the end with, basically. The last week. The last week in 22.
In 22.
Yep.
Way back when. We believe it's him. Yeah, for sure. So Pool Genius tweeted out, what is the bigger gut punch in NFL Survivor? Is it your pick loses 30-0, or your pick blows a late 10-point lead?
It's got to be the late 10-point lead. I mean, it just has to be, right? Because 30-0, you look up and go, all right, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But when you blow the late 10-0 lead, you look up and go, oh my God, like I did everything right. Like all they had to do was not play a prevent defense or not get a kick blocked or, whatever.
Usually I don't get involved in those, when they're like pick which one. And I mean, for sure it's the 10-point. When it's 30-0, I mean, it obviously doesn't go on. It doesn't go well in the first half.
Correct.
Normally.
You've moved on.
And you're just dead. You're gone, whatever. It would be worse if they came all the way back and lost by like 3.
Oh, that's for sure worse.
Just the hope.
For sure worse. And I'll tell you something, though. It's interesting there. So let's say you only had one pick. I'll just make this example easier. So, your pick loses the late 10-point lead, you're knocked out. It's brutal. It's painful. It's once. It's 1 week. You're done, right? What's perpetually painful in Survivor? It's not your pick. It's like, for example, in Grandissimo, we didn't take Seattle, right? So imagine New Orleans was close to winning.
Oh, God.
Right. And you have to suffer things like that every week. Oh. Every week you're looking at these good teams, and some will have the blowouts like Seattle did this week, but you'll have the games like the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
Where they come back and win at the end. You'll have the games like the Tampa game where you're like, oh my God, we're finally going to it's not like you took the Jets, but you feel like you took the Jets because you're rooting for the Jets, right?
100%.
And suddenly you think the Jets are finally going to bring one home for you and they don't. And so that's incredibly painful. But it's like every week you're going to have one, maybe two of those all the time, constantly through the whole year. The pain just never ends. It's lovely. You should sign up. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah, you get your money's worth.
Exactly.
And I remember listening to last week's Saturday Night Sweat show, and you reference like every week you're a Titans fan,
right.
You're a Jets fan, you're just
pick the 5 worst teams in the league.
Saints fan.
And you're rooting for 4 of those 5 teams every week. The only one you're not rooting for is the one you took the other team on.
And meanwhile, I'm like, that's been my whole life.
Correct.
Like,
well, yeah, you're a Titans fan.
Being a Titans fan, Oilers/Titans fan, I'm like, now everybody, the people that have the Eagles as their team, or the 49ers, the Patriots, whatever, I'm like, yeah, great. Something goes wrong in their game and they just freak out. And I'm like,
right, they get like one bad call, they're freaked out. You've got like 30 bad years.
This is 46 years of this stuff. I'm so used to it. So Survivor was just easy for me. I'm just rooting for all these bad teams like mine.
The Titans, yeah.
And then I finally get to root for usually a favorite, like a good team.
And then when they lose, that's really disheartening.
Yeah, and then
and by the way, you're not. Everybody always says, I could coach this team better than them. You're not capable of coaching the Titans because you actually know the rules of the game. So that kind of rules you out of coaching.
Well, he's
going to
give away the play calling this week, so he can really focus on game management.
Wasn't he supposed to be the offensive? Never mind. Just move on from that. The game management. Is he going to be the guy that throws out the footballs like this time?
Oh, just unbelievable. So, what were your biggest surprises or takeaways from week 2 in terms of these selections?
In terms of the selections, I think we nailed the board on the main pool, so I wasn't particularly surprised there. On the Grandissimo, it was interesting, and we talked about it on Saturday. I really thought you'd have even more people on the Seahawks. It surprised me that it was quote-unquote as low. I mean, it was still the chalk of the field at 34-ish%, but we thought that could have reached 60. Like, we really were off there, and that because it looked so top-heavy in prior weeks. And David Baker's point, valid, that he figured everybody would be doing that, playing the leveling game and figuring out what they're going to do and then go the other way. And that, I assume that's what happened. I can't think people looked at it and said, we don't like Seattle. And so I was thrilled with our Colts pick, obviously. And then we had, as we said, the whole day went well for us. We didn't lose a single pick. And, it came down to the end because we did have Kansas City. And it's like, oh, my God, if Kansas City somehow loses, the whole day means nothing. It's just a disaster. It's a complete disaster.
We were sitting there, the Sunday night game started. He goes, if the Chiefs don't win, this whole thing is BS.
Yeah, it's all BS.
I'm just done with it.
The whole thing is right. Yeah. It's all, it doesn't, none of it matters.
We felt like we hammered the board on the percentages in the main. Grandissimo off on the Seahawks. And, I was a little surprised that, I wasn't surprised people were on the Bills. I was just surprised how many, because there's 3 consecutive weeks that you can take them. So if you're doing that leveling war, you're like, wow, I'm going to get in there right now. But with Seattle's lack of future value, it was a tough one just to bypass.
Yeah, it was. We were close in the Grandissimo board. I think we were thinking 15, 16. They had 19. I know David Baker thought 12, but he tended to be dead on Seattle. It's tough, man. It's especially in Grandissimo. It's a little bit, I don't want to say it's easier to pick in the main because there's so many entries. So, you can't drill down to individual people or anything, but you're dealing with laws of large numbers, right? So it's easier to kind of, if you're wrong about one person's pick, it doesn't move. It's not going to move anything. In Grandissimo, if you're wrong about 1 or 2 people, it's, a few percentage points each way. And there's only 69.
I think the most surprising thing for me, and it happened to be on the Monday night, so it was out there, was the 30 people that took Baltimore. I just think there's, if you're going to get through this, and I understand being contrarian and being on an island and trying to get out there, we're just too early.
It's not even that. Well, people would say, well, you took San Francisco. And that's different. We're not trying to be out on an island in a tough game.
Yeah, and a tough game, Baltimore, and they have so many spots. So even if you win,
but you
metaphorically lose.
You have 9 spots, 10 spots, 11 spots to take Baltimore. I'm not going to want to take them For example, when they played Buffalo, or I'm not going to want to take Buffalo when they play Baltimore. I'm not going to want to take them when they're playing. And they're, like we've said, year in, year out, week in, week out. And I don't know the number offhand. Maybe there's 6, 7 NFL teams that are credible.
Yes.
I'm not trying to take one of those credible teams against another one of them. Even though one's a legit favorite, they're home, whatever, you're still playing another credible team. You're going to have a shot with Baltimore playing pretty much anyone else in their division.
Yeah.
It's like
Is
what
going to
Mike
be a nice
said
spot.
On Follow the Money, where you can't be interested in these coin flip
No, it doesn't make
games,
sense.
right? That's just what I took away from that.
Sometimes you have no choice. Like,
Yeah.
it's possible on some of those holiday week games, you may not have a lot of choice, but to look at one of those coin flip games, because they're, at the moment, mostly coin flip
Yeah,
games, and the ones
and-
that aren't may turn into coin flip
And
games.
to your
But
point, to back up a little bit, we took the Niners against the Saints. We believe that the real number on the game was like 5.8, 5.5, whatever it might be. They're favorites. I mean, it isn't
course,
just
right?
like,
Yeah.
So, anyway, so
we didn't look to take like the Niners if they're going to play the Eagles or something.
Oh, no.
Hey, here's a good spot. We'll be on an island. Yes, you'll be on an island, like Tom Hanks with the volleyball. Have fun.
Yeah.
You'll be crazy. You'll be going
That's
nuts
right.
talking to yourself.
Yeah, so at 4 p.m. at the Survivor Sweat X platform, we post our percentages and projections of where we think the public's going to land, along with our selections. And as you know, if you're riding with us in the Grandissimo, that's where you're going to find your pick at 4 o'clock.
And I'll say it again for people that are riding with us and go, hey, did we take the Thursday game? We are not going to tell you. Sorry about that.
So, yeah, we have the Seahawks. This is in the main. To clarify, we have the Seahawks at 38 to 45%, landed on 39.9.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close. Bills 15 to 18. They landed on 19.8, just tick higher. Bucks 15 to 18, 12%. Packers 9 to 12, 10.7. So we felt between those four teams, 84 to 90% of the picks would be there. Landed on 82.4. So if you tell me we're going to be in that ballpark,
Right.
I'm going home. We're good. I don't
Right.
really care because
Exactly.
the one up, one down isn't even going to matter until we get sub 20.
Correct.
So in the main, we went our tranche of picks were Bills, Colts, Chiefs in the Grandissimo. 2 selections, Colts, Chiefs, and we were
pretty, and we had a couple of other sprinklings in the main, not on the Grandissimo,
For sure, 'cause we-
sprinklings.
yeah.
But we were on a relative basis, very heavy on the Colts.
Yeah, I just try to give
A taste, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So
'Cause I think we got some tweets about our, Colts comments prior to the games going off. So some comments back. Something about, I think, the Colts in combination with our 49ers pick last week.
yeah, we're out there, but we work the games and we feel we're in a good spot and we like the percentages. And in order to win, you have to be willing to die.
That's right.
And so we're just going to go out there and try to give us the best opportunity, give our investors the best opportunity.
And remember, winning is about winning the most money. It's not just about making it to week 20, right? So you could make it to week 20 with 1,000 entries, make it to week 20 with 2 entries, right? So
That's right.
It's just it is very different.
That's right. All right, Nick, where did last year's champions land?
Yep. We got first up is C3 Picks. They have 8 entries alive. They got through with 5 Bills and 3 on the Seahawks, but they lost 2 on the Falcons. Next up is Dream Stakes. They have 7 picks alive. They got through with 5 on the Buccaneers, 2 on the Chiefs, and then they lost 3 on the Packers. The Meatball Brothers, they have 7 entries alive. They got through with 3 Seahawks and 4 Bills. Pumbaa Pack has 4 entries alive. They got through with 3 on the Chiefs and then 1 on the Bills, and they lost 2 on the Falcons and 1 on the Texans. And then we got Vodka Johnny.
Yes.
6 entries alive for Vodka Johnny, and made it through with 4 Seahawks, 1 Chiefs, and 1 on the Bills, and lost 3 on the Packers and 1 on the Falcons. Whatever y'all want got through with 2 Colts, like you guys did, 1 Vikings, and lost 5 on the Packers. So that's why whatever y'all
But
want.
I'll comment there
only
too.
has
Like
5.
if you look at that, well, go ahead, do the last one
Okay.
first, because I'm going to make it.
And then whatever y'all want was confident in the Bills and the Seahawks for 1-1 pick. And then Whiskey Business still has 10 entries alive. Got through with 9 on the Seahawks and 1 on the Bills.
All right, so just to comment on those last couple there. So if you look at this, yes, Whiskey Business got through with 9 on the Seahawks. Game was never close, complete blowout. You kind of look up, you're done, you feel like a genius. right?
Sure.
You have a team you're never going to want to take again anyway. It all worked out great, right?
Yeah.
Then you look back and you look at, whatever they all want, and they took 5 in the Packers. They spread it out. The Packers lost. Now, presumably, if they took 5 in the Packers, they probably at least for a teeny moment in time said, should we just take all Packers? Right. And then said, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. Why don't we spread it out, And then you even look at whiskey business. They did take 1 on another team just in case. And this is, again, for the poker players, right? When you start losing chips in a tournament and you're short stack, each chip has more value to you than each chip does to the big stack, right? It's just the value of survival is real. And so I think laying the wood in a team, do understand the strategy. We've discussed it year in, year out. It's probably a mistake. You're probably better off at least doing something like whiskey business did, or even doing something like whatever y'all want did. So at least you've got some flexibility. And even if all your teams advance, and we've discussed this many times, it forces you to go down different paths.
Correct.
Which is sometimes useful. Like we've talked about, you could make it to that Thanksgiving Day game and you could have the favorite and the dog available. Well, you're just going to take the favorite. You're not going to take the dog. Sometimes it's better if you had a few entries and one of them can't take the favorite. You're forced to push the button in a different direction. Because everybody says they're going to do something. Saying you're going to do it and doing it are not the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love to get into the mind of their selections. And just kind of see. We've been in 3 weeks now just following past champions and just seeing how they're spraying the board and what their thought process is on that. Of course, we've said this before, they could have other entries with other partners. All we know is the screen names of the past champions, and we're just trying
and
to
that's right. For all I know, Whiskey Business has 30 picks, and only 9 of them were on the Seahawks.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? I don't know. But it was just to drive home an example there of, there is always the value of surviving. It doesn't mean if you have 10 picks, you want to take 5 different teams to each. I think it's great, and David's talked about this too on Saturdays. It's great to take a position.
Yes.
Whatever that position is. So they chose to take whatever y'all want, chose to take a position on the Packers, which is very valid. Wasn't our pick. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's not a crazy pick. I wouldn't have taken 5 on the Ravens, but you're taking 5 in the Packers in a spot. It's fine.
And as we've discussed,
and you're still spreading them out.
It's not just the results. It's
no,
the
it's
process
not the results.
of going, because at the odds on making it to the finish line, very difficult.
Correct.
And so you have to go with your process. And if you go back and you're like, well, I should have, or I did, or whatever, that's their game theory. And they're, have conviction in what you're doing, obviously successful in doing so. So, go with it, and Packers lost, they lost, they were in a good spot.
Whatever, it is what it is. It's not an unreasonable pick. And also pointing out, as I noted, you make it to the finish line with 1,000 people versus 2 people, it's very different. To be clear, it's probably obvious, we're not claiming the strategy when we're avoiding the chalk makes it more likely to get to week 20. It makes it less likely to get to week 20, right? You're taking more risks, taking more underdogs. So when you get there are fewer players. And that's always been the case. That's not new. The thing that's a little bit new-ish is that even if this thing gets to week 20, which it almost certainly will in the main pool, you'd have to take some pretty big upsets and then a couple of huge upsets on Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? Unlike, say, 5 years ago, it's very likely there will be deals made at some point in this thing, right?
Sure.
So especially if you get down to, 10 people, 5 people, 20, maybe even 20 people, who knows, right? If there are 1,000 people, there's no deal. I mean, you can make a deal with 3 other people, like a save, but you can't really make a deal to chop up a lot of the money. So trying to find yourself in a position without a lot of players remaining actually does make it easier to cash as well.
That's right.
Not just cash for the big dollars, but to actually cash.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make it all the way to week 20 and then see how many people you're going to chop it up with, and you're just taking this chalk path, it could be 500. You're never going to make a deal with 500 people.
Yeah, so now that we're through 3 weeks, it's fun to look back and see what the most common entry is. So Denver, Arizona, Seattle, there's 1,323 that have that exact same card. Right below that, Denver, Baltimore, Seattle, 898. And then Arizona, Dallas, Seattle, 617. So those are the people that are tracking, and it could be multiple on there, but those are the entries that are tracking along the same path. So you can see if you don't deviate from that, either A, you're going to finish just like them, or B, you're all going down together. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, we do understand that, it's the first couple weeks of NFL. We don't know who's good or not, so let's just wait and figure it out later.
We don't know who's good, but we have a pretty good idea of who's bad.
That's right.
And so even when I look at these, or who's lower mediocre, right? When I look at those 3, you look at the number 1 path is Denver, Arizona, Seattle. The number 3 path is Arizona, Dallas, Seattle. Mm-hmm. Even though there's only one, it's not they're not hugely different. One group has taken Dallas, one has taken Denver. I'd much rather be on that last one.
Yeah, of course.
Where I've gotten through with Dallas, right? And I still have Denver sitting there available.
Yeah.
Right? And plus, when you compare it, you've got less than half the number of people, 617, that are on that Arizona-Dallas-Seattle path, as opposed to 1323 that are on the Denver-Arizona.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you track this all the way down the line, you're going to find some entries. You're being, man, I wish I had that ticket.
Of course.
I mean, yeah,
of course. Like if both of those are for sale in Survivor Sweat, I'm going to pay more for the one that's got Dallas used than the one that has Denver used.
Great point.
Not particularly close, and I don't think it would be particularly close for anybody.
Yep, absolutely. Well,
that also means he had to have the guts to, push the button on Dallas.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
And Dallas, kind of lost that game, but somehow won. So I don't know what to tell you.
They
But they
did
did technically
lose,
win. The NFL says they won, so that's all that matters.
They kind of won. Yeah, exactly. I like the kind ofs. All right, well, that's a wrap for week 3.
All right, we're out of here. Oh, no, I'm coming back. I need that long break.
We will look ahead to week 4 and try to figure out where the best spots to land after the break.
All right.
Couldn't have imagined that it would happen. To be here today and collect this check.
This is amazing.
Do you have what it takes to win the biggest football handicapping contest in Las Vegas? If you live out of state but want to enter either the Circa Sports Millions or the Circa Survivor contest, you've come to the right place.
But do you not live in Las Vegas? There's a solution with Survivor Sweat. Place from anywhere in any of the biggest sports contests. Fly to Las Vegas and schedule an appointment to get signed up. Can't make it to Vegas? Just buy an entry form from the marketplace. Either way, submit your picks each week into the contest using Survivor Sweat Proxy.
Kudos to Circa, Survivor Sweat, and everybody else.
Once in a lifetime experience. Thank you.
With over 20 million in guaranteed prizes, you can sweat small, win big. Visit SurvivorSweat.com or call for more information.
All right, we are back. Let's look forward here to week 4, try to figure out some top plays, win rate, or, you know what, forget it. Let's just all take Buffalo. We're gone.
Well, that's pretty much what the pool is going to look like. It could be, if this is, again, and we've talked about this, never, ever, ever going to happen. If you actually knew everyone in the pool took Buffalo, you are supposed to just take New Orleans.
That's right.
Right. You got a 10% chance to win the entire pool. Right now, your chances are, I can't even do the math, what percentage, 1 out of 14,000
Or another team that might be a little bit better. Or have a better chance.
Because then you need 2 things to happen.
That's right.
You need Buffalo to lose, and you need 2 things to happen.
Yeah, so, looking at Buffalo here, they're the first 90% win rate of the season. I think they're up to 93%. The spread just keeps going up and up and up. Popularity, the whole 9 yards.
15.5 went to 16.5.
Unfortunately, they have a lot of future value.
A little bit. Yeah, well, that's not uncommon when a team is that big a favorite. That's kind of why they're, good.
Sure. So, if you just want to forget about it and push the button, or you have
just
them
this
available,
week. This is every other week. Just this week. I just want to push that. Just want to get through
push
this
the button. Let's get through.
Next week we'll do the smart thing. This week, just push the button.
Yes, and I think they have a pretty good game next week too.
They have a lot of good games because they're a good team. It's the same thing, right? No.
So right below them, Detroit and Cleveland. Wow, how good did Detroit look?
I remember in the middle of week 1, you're watching that Ravens game going, you're watching the Super Bowl here. This is the best team in football. The Ravens are the best. You're going to see they're going to crush. And you're like the whole time going, see, I told you, see, I told you. And then by the end of the game, you're like, I got to go.
Oh, gosh. So, yes, Detroit looked amazing going in on the road. A lot of concerns
and
about
by the way, Baltimore is great. They may be the best team in the
are.
NFL. Like, they could literally be the number 1 team. But it's like, look at that schedule, 2 to 3 weeks they're playing. It's rough, man.
I know.
It's a rough schedule.
They got KC this week.
Yeah, it's a rough schedule. Well, I'd rather have KC this week than like 6 weeks from now.
That's true. That's true. But also, Detroit is on one of those special weeks. So if you need to save them or you are looking ahead in this pool, might not be your spot. So right below them, you got Denver at 77% win rate versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati looks like now they're really
bad
without Burrow. Yeah, they masked it for that second half of the second game. But, man, Minnesota looked like the team that I thought they were supposed to be.
But better than that.
When they played the Falcons.
Yeah, but Minnesota looked better than the team you thought they were supposed to be. You didn't think Minnesota was going to be this good coming into the season.
No,
I still don't think they're this good. I think Cincinnati right now is playing that poorly.
Yeah, I believe you're right. So, but Denver also included in a special week, and they were the number 1 pick in week 1. So, in terms of ownership, man, they might not quite be
Smaller
there.
and smaller and smaller, and you got to
Yeah.
decide if you wanted to hold them. Don't they have a special week?
They do. They do.
They don't have a great matchup, but
you know,
it might be a good
don't
matchup.
worry. You always got Houston, who
true.
0-3 versus the Titans. What could go bad there?
They're probably the best 0-3 team in their division.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So you got Houston versus Tennessee. I don't even want to bring up that game.
Someone's going to have to win a game. Well, actually, it's not true. They could tie.
Yeah. Green Bay, also special week. That big Sunday night contest. Mike Parsons going back home against the Dallas Cowboys. That could be a place that you might want to get cozy with. I'm not sure. Then you start getting down to New England, Carolina. Chargers, Giants might be a spot. Now you got the new rookie quarterback
Can
in
you
there.
imagine someone doesn't know you're in Survivor? They walk into your house. You got the quad going with like Houston, Tennessee on one screen, New England, Carolina on the other screen. Like, oh my God, can we turn on a real football game?
Yeah, unbelievable. And then below the Chargers, Philadelphia, Rams, San Francisco, you can keep going. But, I mean, you could choose your flavor. It's just the win rate goes down. Obviously, popularity goes down. And so, it's if you're not taking Buffalo, I mean, this is, like we say every week, this is a tough week to pick if you're not picking Buffalo.
Again, other than week 1, though, week 2 was a little tricky. Week 1, I remember you know very little, and there were a lot of tight lines. There weren't a lot of great spots. There was Denver, who you probably wanted to save, and Denver has burned us in years past on week 1s, week 2s, where you don't know if the team's any good.
That's right.
But I feel like, again, yes, you're right. It's tricky. They're all tricky, but this still feels like a more, and maybe I'll regret saying this later, a more normal Survivor week. You've got, Buffalo's a bigger favorite than you'd normally have, but if you told me they were 82% and everything else was about the same, I'd say, okay, this is fairly typical. You got the big favorite. Do you want to take them, or are you going to move your way down? You move down a little bit. They're teams that have huge primetime games. By the way, again, no coincidence that you've got some of the big favorites that are going to play special weeks, because the NFL wants to put good teams in high-profile games, right? So you're always going, this is not like, oh, I'm so unlucky that this is how it's designed.
I heard a stat, and it was kind of hard to believe, but Denver, being a 1-2 team, has not trailed for 1 second of the year.
Interesting.
You mean a full second? Like
A full second.
That's crazy.
They lost
I
at the
understand it,
They
but
lost at
that's
the
crazy.
buzzer both
Right.
times, and they never trailed until the buzzer.
That's crazy.
They could easily be 3-0, and now they're 1-2.
Damn.
Incredible. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. So looking at the remaining Circa survivors, you have 73.6% that have the Bills in their pocket, 94.5% that have the Lions, 58.5% have the Broncos. So by identifying those percentages, that might help you figure out where the general public might land.
And you might be able to pull that information for your own pool if you're not in Circa or not in one of these other
Correct.
large pools. And most people don't bother. They just go about their picks. But you should go pull that information from your pool. It has value,
Absolutely.
whether your pool's large or small.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so, well, if
By the way, apparently Houston has zero future value. I know that's shocking to you.
the question is, do they have value this week?
Oh, yeah, that's not much of a question. I don't know. I guess. It's, it's the...
They're favored.
Seattle had more future value last week than Houston does this week, and everybody piled on Seattle because they said Seattle doesn't have another playable game. They had another game, I think they were at like 49%.
Well, I would say they have to play the Titans at least one more time.
True. But they got to go to Tennessee, right?
Oh, yeah, tough place to play.
But they have one of the top 34 home field advantages in the NFL.
That's right.
You have the no picks, and never mind.
Well, also remember Minnesota and Pittsburgh is over the pond this week, so that's that Sunday morning 6:30 game. Obviously your picks will have to be in at 4 o'clock the night prior, but if there's the morning sweat, there's 2 Monday Night Football games this week. I think once the NFL realized that Miami and the Jets were going to be on Monday night, they said, let's schedule
maybe
another
we'll do
one.
another game.
Let's do another one.
Can we flex you out? Oh, the stadium's full. That's okay. We'll leave you there. We're just going to put another game in.
Absolutely. Let's start you early and just get it over with.
Like
And-
noon?
Yeah. All the West Coast, we have no idea there's another one.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that is your week 4 look ahead. And what's interesting is I looked ahead over to Survivor Sweat. And man, the marketplace is now starting to cook.
They are. And we didn't even lose that many. We lost some people. For this year, it felt like a big drop, but in general, this wasn't a big We've taken 35% hits in a day.
Yeah, I popped on there. There's 60 entries on the marketplace ranging from 1% to 99%. And if you're looking for that pick control, there are 6 entries right now that offer that option. So that's something, if you want that pick control, now's the time to get in. And probably before there's some carnage, could be the cheapest time to get in. And have
for
that
sure. Well, no, by definition, I mean, granted, somebody may negotiate, they could change their pricing, but I mean, in theory, I mean, the prices shouldn't get cheaper, and like they may get cheaper relative to the field, but they're not going to get cheaper in absolute terms. You're going to lose more people. The pickup will be more valuable.
Exactly.
And for the record, we're filming this on Wednesday morning, the 24th. So if you're thinking about it, click on the marketplace now.
Yeah, for sure. I also noted 2 Grandissimos, ranging between 1% and 3%. So no pick control over there, but if you missed out on that contest, this is your chance now to slide in there and get a double sweat.
And you get to tell everybody, yeah, of course I'm in Grandissimo. It's 100,000. It's no big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
100,000. It's fine. It's fine.
So get in before there's carnage.
No, I'm not going to make picks. I don't have time for this. I'm too busy for that.
So Nick, tell us about this week's lineup and Saturday Night Sweat. This should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. So right at the start of the stream, which you can find on our X handle, like I said in podcast previous, a good way to find it is you can just click on the Survivor Sweat profile picture on X, and it'll bring up our live stream. And if you're subscribed on YouTube, you'll get a notification on your phone. But anyway, we're going to open up the show with myself, Tony Farmer, David Baker, and Mr. Mike Buckmiller here. We're going to talk to ODB and Mike and Tony, just everybody about who they selected. Our first guest is going to be Jared Blesnick, which I'm really excited about. Mike, if you could just tell everybody who Jared is, just in case they might not know.
Well, if you're familiar with the poker world, Blez
or the sports card world.
Or the sports card world, and in fact, sometimes he marries them together.
That's so
pretty much.
He's done sports card breaks right on the WSOP table, but he's known as being a mixed game specialist. His commentating on the 50K PPC is just phenomenal.
Fantastic.
He's a character, very smart guy. There's a lot more individuals that know him better, but like every time that I hear him, it's very insightful. So
some people are smart and boring. He's not boring.
Oh no, he's definitely not boring. And as it turns out, he has 2 entries in the Grandissimo, and he tweeted out, sent out to ODB, and he's like, I need to come on and spice this up.
Yeah.
So hopefully he comes on and gives some really good insight, not only into his brain, but how he may be looking at the contests, obviously not giving away his secret sauce. And who knows, maybe he'll do a break or something on there.
Like special Survivor sports cards with
badass.
different Survivor people.
Yeah,
break
for
it
sure.
back.
I love it. After Blez, we're going to have Rachel Arie on, who survived with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we also have to ask her what happened to Mr. Josh Arie.
She's going to get to tell us who sucks more, her husband or Rattler.
Talk about somebody that's getting their money's worth. She's like in every sweat.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is unreal.
Sweating bullets. Then up next, we will have Paulie Howard from Follow the Money, who's been on in weeks previous. I love Paulie's insight. He kind of brings that VSiN energy to the live stream.
He gets to say who he'll pick and why our pick sucks. That's kind of the weekly.
You picked what?
Yeah, that's a great clip. Go watch that on our X account. Yeah. And then next up will be James with his marketplace analysis per usual, and then Russ, you are going to pop on and help us end the
If he's not asleep by then.
Could be.
Yeah, how many ever tequilas deep you are at?
All depends.
7:45. Yeah, and that's what we got going on for Saturday. So tune in.
Hey, that is 7:45 Pacific. That's like 10:45 in the East Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
You're
on
still
the
on
East
the East
Coast,
Coast
but
up here?
no, just pointing it out.
Oh, he's been here for a minute.
Exactly. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Some
All
point.
right, and as always, if you have any questions regarding the contest or anything Circa Survivor, hit us up on X at mbuckmiller, at rosenblumr, or always at Survivor Sweat. And don't forget to subscribe to the pod, and of course,
Get your picks in.
Yeah, get your picks in, first of all.
Or don't get your picks in, then just go to Survivor Sweat, buy one. Don't get that pick in, go back to Survivor Sweat.
I'm just happy that everybody's got their Grandissimo pick in.
It's true. I'm not that happy. But actually, in fairness, I think the no picks are down, particularly as a percentage of the field. Field's much bigger, and the no picks
actually
feels
has
smaller.
been. It has been. So we're getting the word out for sure.
It must be us.
Yeah. All right. Until week 5. Hope you survive.
Well, until Saturday.
Hope we. Yep. Saturday Night
we'll
Sweat.
see
We'll see you there. All right. See you on Saturday.
Later.
Looking for Survivor strategy articles? Did you lose your last entry on a Survivor contest and wish you could rebuy? Check out our marketplace and you may find what you need. Head over to survivorsweat.com for all things Survivor. And we'll see you next week for the next Survivor Sweat podcast.